Once upon a time, in a small, picturesque town nestled between rolling hills, lived a young woman named Lily. She had always loved the idea of love, often dreaming of a connection so deep that it would feel as if time itself had stopped. Her days were spent working in a quaint little bookstore, surrounded by the smell of old paper and the whispers of forgotten stories. The routine was comforting, but it always felt as if something, or rather someone, was missing from her life. One crisp autumn morning, as golden leaves danced in the wind, a man named Jack walked into the bookstore. He was a traveler, someone who had seen the world beyond the town's borders. His eyes, a deep shade of blue, held a quiet curiosity, as though he was searching for something but wasn't quite sure what. He approached Lily with a soft smile and asked for a book on poetry. Their conversation started innocently, with Lily suggesting a few titles. But as the minutes turned into hours, they found themselves talking about everything from the stars above to the dreams that lay hidden within their hearts. Jack returned to the bookstore every day after that, and their connection grew deeper with each passing moment. They shared their hopes, their fears, and their past. Jack, once a wanderer, now found solace in the quiet moments he spent with Lily, while she discovered a sense of excitement she had never known before. They would take long walks through the woods, where the sound of the wind rustling through the trees would be their only company. And their love grew like the roots of an ancient oak, steady and unshakable. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Jack took Lily's hand and led her to a quiet spot by the lake. With the soft murmur of the water in the background, he looked into her eyes and whispered, "I never believed in fate, but meeting you feels like destiny. I've wandered the world looking for something, and I finally found it in you." Lily's heart skipped a beat. She had always believed that love was not just a feeling but a journey, one that took you to places you never expected. And now, standing there, with the love of her life beside her, she knew that this was the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where the two of them would walk together, hand in hand, through every season, every challenge, and every joy life had to offer. As the years passed, Lily and Jack's love only grew stronger. They built a life together in that small town, their hearts intertwined like the pages of the books they loved so much. And when the autumn leaves began to fall again, just as they had on the day they met, they would stand by the lake, gazing at the sunset, knowing that their love was not just a fleeting moment, but a timeless story that would continue forever. Once upon a time, in a small, picturesque village by the sea, there was a young woman named Lily. Her life was filled with simple joys, wandering through wildflower fields, watching sunsets by the water, and dreaming of a love that seemed just out of reach. She had always believed in fairy tales, in the kind of love that would sweep her off her feet. A love as constant and enduring as the ocean tides. One warm summer evening, while walking along the beach, she met a man named Jack. He was a traveler, with eyes that held stories of distant places and a smile that made her heart flutter. Jack was visiting the village, seeking solace from his busy life in the city, and the peaceful serenity of the sea called to him. He had never expected to find someone like Lily, someone whose presence felt like a soft breeze on a hot day, refreshing, gentle, and unexpected. Their connection was instant, as though the universe had orchestrated their meeting. They spent the days walking along the shore, talking about everything and nothing, sharing hopes, dreams, and fears. With each passing moment, Lily found herself drawn to Jack's laughter, the way his eyes lit up when he spoke about his adventures. Jack, in turn, found in Lily a quiet strength, a deep warmth that made him want to stay in that moment forever. As the days turned into weeks, their bond deepened, and soon they were inseparable. The village, with its quaint little cottages and the endless horizon of the sea, became their world. They would watch the sun dip below the waves, their hands intertwined, knowing that no matter where life took them, this love would remain, a constant like the sea itself. But life, as it often does, had its own plans. Jack received an offer to return to the city, an opportunity he had dreamed of for years. He was torn between his career and the life he had built with Lily. One evening, as they sat beneath the stars, he told her of his decision. "Lily, He said softly, I have to go back. But I don't want to leave you. What if we tried? What if we made this work? Even from a distance? Lily, with tears in her eyes, took his hand. Love doesn't always mean being in the same place. It's about the promise of forever, no matter the distance. I'll wait for you, Jack. I'll wait as long as it takes. And so, they parted, but their love remained unwavering. Their letters and calls became the bridge between two worlds. And each moment apart only made their hearts grow fonder. They held on to the promise that one day, they would be together again. Years passed, and Jack built a life in the city. But the memory of Lily, and the love they had shared, never faded. Eventually, he made the decision to return to the village, to the life they had once dreamed of. When he arrived, he found Lily waiting for him by the sea, just as she had promised. With a heart full of love, Jack took her hand once more. I've come back, Lily, I've come back to you. And from that day forward, they lived a love story as timeless as the waves crashing on the shore. A love that defied time and distance, enduring forever. Once upon a time, in a small town nestled by the sea, there lived a young woman named Emily. Her days were spent painting the sunsets that painted the sky with hues of orange and pink, capturing the beauty of nature in every stroke. Though she loved her quiet life, she often dreamt of something more, a love as deep and enduring as the ocean before her. One summer evening, as Emily wandered along the beach, she met a man named James. He was a writer, visiting the town to find inspiration for his next novel. With his unruly hair and eyes that sparkled like the stars, James caught Emily's attention from the very first moment. They exchanged smiles, and before long, their conversations flowed as easily as the waves crashing on the shore. They talked about their hopes, their dreams, and the stories that lay within them, realizing that they shared a passion for the arts. As the days passed, Emily and James found themselves drawn to each other more and more. Every moment spent together felt like an eternal summer, where time slowed, and the world outside their little bubble seemed to disappear. Emily would take James on walks along the cliffs, showing him the hidden paths where wildflowers bloomed, and he would read her poems he had written, his words wrapping around her heart like a warm embrace. One night, under a sky full of stars, James took Emily's hand, his heart racing. He had never believed in love at first sight, but with Emily, he felt as if fate had brought him together. Emily, he said softly, I never thought I would find someone who understands the depths of my soul. You are my muse, my reason for believing in magic. Will you let me spend the rest of my life with you? Tears filled Emily's eyes as she looked up at him, the man who had captured her heart in ways she never thought possible. Yes, she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. I want nothing more than to be with you, forever. From that moment on, their love blossomed like the wildflowers on the cliffs. They spent their days creating together, painting and writing, their hearts forever intertwined. No matter how many seasons passed, no matter where life took them, their love remained as constant as the tides, deep, enduring, and unbreakable. And so, as the years went by, Emily and James lived their own love